Welcome back. I'm Emily at Emily's podcast, Tribute to All Little Angels, Part 13, Episode 5 of the Timeline. September 6, 2025. I thank God. I start my day to go to the country, just to check on things for our friend. When I'm finished, I went home to start writing. To get home to realize I have no episode this week due to recording every other Wednesday. I am relieved. I did work in the screenplay, trying to find balance between the two. September 7th, 2025. This morning I spent time outside. As my morning moves on, I relaxed and enjoyed it. I'm hoping too that the more time I get like this, I can begin to clear my mind. I've had too much on my plate. Then later this afternoon, Madison invites me to go to a farmer's market type thing. I went. We had a good time. I returned home a little before 6 to know staying busy today, other than writing or prepping myself to record, I feel like a weight. I should say some weight feels like it's been lifted. September 8, 2025. Today I have a few errands to run and I'm going to the country to pick up our friend. He also has errands, so I will help him as I do mine. At 4:32 p.m., I get him back home. I leave a short time later and I went home too. When getting here, I am tired. I eat dinner, I watch a little TV, and I relax. At 10 o'clock news, I'm sitting, listening, when I hear a segment about an issue in the same city. I listen to thinking, wow. I did take a few pictures of the TV screen. And then not long after, I went to bed, praying and thinking about the family and loved ones involved. And then waking up this next morning, September 9th, 2025, I'm thinking of the family and tears came to my eyes. I thought, I feel for them. And then when I talked to Madison later in the day, I said, I wish I knew a way to comment on this news story. Madison said there is, and let me write a message to help put Megan's story out there. I did read others' comments, and I'm thinking, I'm not the only one. And then I started to cry. And by now, my anxiety level is climbing. I can feel it. Then I thought, Dear Heavenly Father, hear my tears. And I wrote the message. It said, My gosh, do they have any feelings at all? I have been fighting this cemetery as to floodwater moved headstones. To John, the funeral director, saying to my daughter, when we were faced with denial, misleading as to where the headstones belonged, and my granddaughter being very disrespected. But John told my daughter she wasn't anything. Nothing is there. I'm still fighting. The whole story is on Emily's podcast, Tribute to All Little Angels, and it is 100% the truth. I have pictures to prove it and an overlay picture as to the truth. I screenshot my message and then I sent it. I then take a deep breath and I pray someone reads this and takes it to heart for Megan and the rest of them at a cemetery to rest in peace. And they are without their headstone marker. Not in peace. Huh. And thinking about all of this, and what we've been through with telling the truth and getting nothing back, I feel bad. I hurt for the family now hurting for their mother. I pray they are treated with respect. September 10th, 2025. Thank you to the big guy in the sky. As I start my day, I'm going to the cemetery. But when I arrive, I do not have my phone. I left it at home, so I'm going to visit with each one, Wyatt and Megan, but I'm not able to take pictures. I sit with Wyatt, and then I went to visit Megan a short time later. The thought of the family going through what they are going through just wouldn't leave me. I sit and cry. I hurt for them. I look out over Megan's area, Babyland 6th West, and my heart breaks, knowing and no one listening. I sit with Megan for a while. I had to. I pulled myself together and I pull away. I tell my angels I love them and I leave the cemetery. I went home. I walked through the door with a heavy heart and I sit in a chair to take some deep breaths. I sit and stare out the window until I knew I was okay. Now I'm mad. I pray to God to calm me. I sit to then go to bed. Have a good night. September 11th, 2025. For some reason, waking up this morning, my heart is heavy. I'm emotional. I notice the date. It is a sad day. I then think, I have to snap out of this. I then start to write an episode for this next week. I spent a couple hours writing, and then I set it aside. I went outside. I walked around in the grass for a little while. I take a few deep breaths, and it did make me feel better. I then sit on the diving board of the pool for a little while, facing my face toward the sky. I said in a soft voice, God, listen. God, hear me. God, hear my tears. I said again. A tear ran down my right cheek, and I sit looking up. I then stand up. I slipped my flip-flops back on, and I went into the house. I didn't write any more today, but I have a couple days to get it done. September 12th, 2025. Thank you, God. Madison and I went to the country to clean for our friend. We were there and hung out with him for a few hours. When we finished, I take Madison home. I then went home, and after I settled down, I eat dinner and clean up a little. I did finish writing the episode for Wednesday, September 17th, 2025. Every 2-week episodes for now on Spotify, Amazon Music, Samsung Podcast, Podcast Index Audible, Listen Notes, RSS.com Community, iHeartRadio, YouTube, and publicrss.com. You may also call 405-681-8098, and we'd appreciate any help. September 13th, 2025. After cleaning up, I went to the cemetery. At 3:27 p.m., I pull up to Wyatt's area. I notice a dirt trail from the center of the cemetery to the west side into the field to the west of the cemetery. I take a picture. I then visit with Wyatt, and I take a few pictures of Wyatt's headstone and one of the sky. Then I went to visit Megan. As I pull up, I take a full view of Babyland 6th West area. Megan has no flowers for some reason. There is one headstone that does have a red and a yellow flower and a pink and purplish color spinner sitting near it. In the second picture, in the third picture, it's of the southeast headstone to not seeing the rock headstone, and west of the southeast headstone where it was washed away to. Then on west to the headstones and the Mother Mary statue. In the fourth picture, I stand over the southeast headstone and face west and take a picture close up of the rock headstone and more of the headstones to the north of the southeast headstone and on to the west. In the next picture is of the colorful flowers up close. In the sixth and seventh picture is of the same of the fifth picture. The eighth picture is taken from the blue and white Babyland 6 west to the existing tree, west to Megan's resting plot, to the headstones to the west, and headstones to the south, which should set north. The ninth picture is of the lineup from the newly set in small drain to the black and white Babyland sign to the double headstones, which should set north, and then on to the blue and white Babyland 6 west sign to the west and on to the tree, the existing tree, to Megan's resting plot, and on to the west where the newly set in headstone sits now since 2019. The headstone showing in the picture should sit north of the tree. In the overlay picture, it shows the headstones moved back. The 10th picture is of the full view area, Babyland 6 west. And then a short time later, I leave the cemetery. I went home to sit. I relax. I went to bed. September 14th, 2025. As my day starts, I'm cleaning. I'm doing laundry and I'm getting things done for the week. I have to record too, but I will work on that on Monday or Tuesday. My friend calls. I put things on hold until I get back from the country. I pick him up and we go for a ride to check on something. Everything looks good and my friend was okay with it all. It's something he's working on, so I will not speak of it. When we finish, he wants to stop at the store. We did. I help him. When we get back to his house, I help him in and I put his things away, and I leave shortly after. When I get home, I finish with my laundry and relax and went to bed early. Have a good night. September 15th, 2025. I wake up thinking, I'm going to try to record the episode today. When my day started, I went to the grocery store, and on my way home, I went to the cemetery. I went to visit Megan first, then Wyatt next. I didn't stay long and left. I went home, I cooked dinner to eat, and in my mind I keep thinking, I'm going to record. But by the time I get dinner done and clean up, I didn't record. I will tomorrow. I have tomorrow. September 16th, 2025. Thank you, God. A day to record. I need to get it done. Have a great day. September 17th, 2025. The episode airs this evening at 8 o'clock p.m. The next episode airs on October 1st. We are still at every other week on Wednesday evenings. I feel on some days I can be okay, and then on other days it hits me a little hard, and every little sad story, or I hear of a sad story, I cry. People tell me, you're stronger than you think, but like I said, some days hits me harder. September 18th, September 19th, and the 20th of 2025. Not much to talk about, and I'm not hearing much, so I won't bore you with what I'm doing and not doing. September 21st, 2025. I thank God for opening my eyes. It's a rainy type day, so for now, I'm inside. Later this afternoon, I went to the cemetery. At 5:25 p.m., I pull up to Wyatt. I take a couple pictures of his area. I took a picture of the dirt track that goes from the street to the fence line and along the fence line onto the west side of the cemetery. Half of the line is covered up and some shows a hole not filled in yet. I pull up to Megan's area. The electrical pole is in the center of the picture. The pole lines up with a triangle looking cloud. And in the second picture, the picture is taken further north of Babyland 6th West. And in this next picture, it's a full view picture of Babyland 6th West. Megan's flowers are here, and it's good to see. In the third picture, it's a close-up picture of Megan's flowers. The blue and white Babyland 6th West sign is in the picture. There's about 7 headstones in this picture, the 7 headstones that are out of their location. In this picture, too, is a branch snake growing up the tree. In the fourth picture, it's a close-up of the southeast headstone to the rock headstone, to headstones in the west, and to the north in Babyland 6th West. The fifth picture is a close-up picture of the rock headstone, and in this picture, it all shows now is 5 small white rocks laying to the west side of the rock headstone. In the sixth picture, it shows the south side of the tree trunk on west to Megan's flowers, pink and purple spinner to the west to the newly set in headstone. A few headstones show in the south. In the seventh picture, it's of the lineup from the small set-in drain, set in 2019, to the black and white Babyland sign, to the double headstones, the out of place double headstones, onto the blue and white Babyland 6th West sign, to the tree and onto Megan's flowers, and on west to the newly set in headstone, excuse me, also set in 2019, all while fixing the drains in Megan's area. So many pictures to tell Megan's story, because yes, I've taken more than enough pictures from the day the headstones were found moved and beyond, and still so many years since. I'm still taking pictures. The headstones to the south of the tree do not belong where they are now. And what a mess. The headstones are so recognizable that they do not set in line in correct location, because how could they, crammed so close together? And in the pictures from 1999 to 2015, they were not. They weren't there. They were and are to set north of this tree in Babyland 6th West. In the eighth picture, it shows the tree to the north, where the north tree sat until it was cracked in half from a storm. The city cut it out. They removed it. And for the next 5 years after it was cut out and removed, we still sat under the tree, the existing tree, visiting Megan, because that's where Megan was, west of the tree, the existing tree, until 2015, May 7th, 2015. In the ninth picture, I walk east across the street and stood in front, east of the big rusty old drain. And yes, this picture shows and compared to pictures taken in 1999, 2000s of where the North Tree sat west of this big rusty old drain, the same drain that's been here since we started visiting the cemetery until 2010, 2011, when the tree was removed. In the 10th picture, I back up. I take another picture of the full view in Babyland 6th West. When I'm finished taking pictures, I sit with Megan for a little while, and while talking to her and God, I leave the cemetery and went home. When getting here, I went outside on the patio to relax and take the day in. And because there is no episode to write and record for a week, I'm going to skip ahead these 7 days from the 22nd of September to the 27th. Although on the 24th of September, I did go to the cemetery. I drove through, stopping at Wyatt's area. I set a piece of candy in his vase, and then I went to visit Megan. I set a piece of candy on the ground in and amongst her flowers. I visit with her for a little while, and I leave the cemetery. And now on September 28, 2025, I thank God for this day. I did start the writing for this week's episode yesterday. I wrote about 6 pages, and I will write more later to record on Monday or Tuesday. Today, when I set the writing aside, Madison, myself, Zoe, and Lily went to the cemetery. Madison, Zoe, and Lily are Megan's sisters. I pull up at 1:53 p.m. to Wyatt's area. Wyatt is Madison's baby brother and Zoe and Lily's big brother. Megan is the oldest. I take a picture of Madison, Zoe, and Lily walking the sidewalk toward Wyatt's area. The girls sit around and stand with Wyatt. In the next picture, the three sisters are in a circle around Wyatt. In the third picture is a picture of Madison sitting near Wyatt's headstone. They changed out Wyatt's flowers. We did take the old flowers with us, and I took about 18 pictures of the girls cleaning up around Wyatt's area. Then I take a photo, well, 8 more of the girls sitting at his headstone to have him in the photo. Then they walk to the car, and I stay with him a little longer. I took a couple more pictures of his headstone and flowers, and then I went to the car. We went to visit Megan. In the first picture at Babyland 6th West area is of the 3 girls walking and then sitting down west of the tree to stick Megan's new flowers in the ground. I took 3 pictures of them. In the 5th picture, it's a full view picture of Babyland 6th West. The girls are still sitting with Megan. I took the old flowers from Megan and Wyatt and shared with some of the ones that has no flowers. We do that as much as we can. In the 6th picture is of Megan's area with the girls sitting with Megan. In the 7th picture of the small newly set in drain to the west, the lineup to the newly set in headstone, plus 3 girls and flowers and other headstones. The next picture is of the north side of the existing tree where the 3 sisters are still arranging Megan's flowers in the ground. In the 9th picture, it's a close-up of the girls cleaning up the area where they have trash to throw away. The 10th picture is of Zoe making sure the flowers are stuck in the ground securely to be able to stay a while. In the next two pictures, the three girls are sitting around Megan's flowers. In the 13th picture is a picture of Madison, and the next two pictures is just of Megan's flowers. They are beautiful. The girls did a good job. Then in the next five pictures, they are of the three sisters standing west of Megan's flowers with Megan. Then another close-up picture of her flowers. The girls then went to the car, and I stayed with Megan a little longer. I take a couple more pictures, and one of the girls getting in the vehicle, and the other is of the Babyland 6th West area, from the north to the south of the electrical pole. It's a picture that shows the headstones south of this tree does not belong there. Thank you for listening. Stay kind with your words.